Hi everyone, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to the show tonight. But before we get started, there's a few people I'd like to thank. My Uncle Dan, Bill Brannigan, Jim and Debbie Hemmel, Ron and Debbie Lancey, my Uncle Marty, Bill Hoffman, and the Bronzas. Also, my parents, for the past few years they always either make food, let us show off fireworks in their backyard, right next to a greenhouse. The one year we almost burned it down, but that's in the past. That won't happen again. And our neighbors, who over the last 14 years have never called the cops on us for shooting off fireworks on America's birthday. And speaking of America, here's a clip of Tom Cruise about America.
If you don't love America, then get the hell out. Well, I love America.
I don't know what's not to love about Tom Cruise. The guy's inspiring. But that aside, hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight, and see you around.
You think I'm a hero? I am not a hero. And if you're smart, that scares you. Because I have nothing to lose.
Alright, welcome to the 14th annual 3rd of July Firework Show in honor of Tom Cruise and America. We thank you everyone for showing your support out there in the crowd. Are there any first timers out there? Well, it's about time, man. I mean, you only waited 14 years to show your support, but hey, we can use it because we haven't had our Cotton Candy Man here since 2012, and clearly the Win a Date with Meg contest is doomed ever since we showed that video of her crashing her truck into her own garage.
I don't always drive like that.
And sadly, the Win a Date with Brett Miller contest is no more. That's right. We just released the news a few hours ago on Twitter, and I'm very sorry, but the only person ever to win since 2011 is Matt Hartman. And a lot of people have not responded well to this news. Let's go to Mike Zola. Apparently we have some breaking news to report on this issue.
Brett, I'm here live today at Brooklyn Heights. I can tell you this, it doesn't look good. There's a lot of unhappy people here.
Well, that's not a surprise, Mike.
They are really mad at you right now. Brett, I think they're trying to destroy your car.
Well, the joke's on them because that's not my car. You know, I just bought an RV and I parked it on a side lot. They're never gonna find it.
They found it.
Is it on fire?
No, it's not on fire. There's probably a spark or two.
Okay, well, let me know when it's actually on fire. Okay, so back to the show.
Brett, it's on fire. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. There's still hope. But yeah, it's in flames.
Well, it really doesn't sound that bad to me, Mike, so I guess I'll worry about it later. Anyways, a lot of people think that we just throw this show together in like a week or two. But that is not true. These guys study every year, every show, to make sure that it's better than the year previous. Let's take a look. Only a mere 12 hours after the show, these guys are going over the footage to see what worked and what didn't.
But you know, we don't stop there. We don't want to repeat the same show over and over and over. So we go back. Right now what we're doing is we're looking at the film, we're looking at the paperwork, seeing what stuff is new.
Within a week, they're having their first meeting.
Newcomb's new.
Newcomb?
No video yet. No idea what they're gonna look like. They're canisters though. Can't double stack canisters.
We'll put a little star next, so that's like a maybe.
Dan Volek is known as the bookkeeper. He does his best to make sure the show is within the budget and yet still a crowd pleaser.
How was this Coast to Coast? Was that any good?
Sorry, it was new last year. It's cheap though.
Cheap? What cheap?
Bang for buck.
Bang for buck.
Bang for buck. We're gonna go in. We're looking at, best bang for the buck now. We already have a store credit.
Every year we try to get something new, whether it's fireworks have smiley faces in it, or really loud Tabasco bombs, or things that go crazy back and forth. Every year we try something new. Last year's show alone had 50% new items, so trying to keep it fresh this year and see what happens.
Late January, and these guys are making their trek to the fireworks store.
Fireworks to the people?
Dude, it's all about this one.
52. I do like 2% cotton, 2% polyester. I'm not 100% cotton. I shrink it all the time.
I'm gonna try to get the large cases in there first, and if anything, we'll throw these in the back seat.
And you know what? He's in the back seat, so you're good. Like he's probably on his lap or something. Half is in back order, so it might be June 20th, and we'll roll up to buy the rest of the fireworks, and stuff might be out of stock. You always gotta stay on top of your game, Make sure you can roll the punches.
All right, so we just got back from the fireworks store. That's the last of it. Everything was in. So this week is gonna be set up. We're gonna start tying everything up together. It's a lot of work, but as you guys know, it's worth it, and we appreciate you coming out for it.
Okay, so for all of you new people out there, this is the part of the show where we
Brett's the
solve
same thing every year.
Sky needs to
I
darken
can change the
just a bit
station,
before we
and we wouldn't miss a thing.
Is it terrorists? This came from someplace else. What do you mean, like Europe?
No, Robbie, not like Europe!
You killed him? No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
Lock the door! The keys are inside! Please, stop! Stop! Stop!
A Tom Cruise movie on every channel. What are the chances?
Red light! Green light!
See this jacket I'm wearing? You like it? Because I don't really need it. Because I'm cloaked in failure. I lost the #1 draft pick the night before the draft.
What's this?
30 for 30, presented by Volkswagen.
We can't talk about backyard baseball without focusing on the Pitt World Series of 2009. You just can't do it. It's called Pit Ball, named after the 5x5 pit that was dug into the backyard. Hit the ball in the pit, get 7 points. For some unknown reason, they chose Noah to pitch Game 1. Noah was a pitcher in the same way that I'm the guy that invented the car. It exists only in a hypothetical conversation. Luckily, Noah was surrounded by big hitters. This was pure muscle 1 through 3 in the lineup, just pure muscle. These guys would show up to the game early just to work out in front of us, just to intimidate us. That's what they did every time they played us.
I mean, the first game was just a blowout. Donnie Pajeska had like 7 home runs. I think the final score was like 37-13 or something like that.
With a 1-0 lead in the series, everyone knew there had to be a big change. And the day before the start of Game 2, it happens.
There had long been speculation. Just only speculation. But of course, a lot of people were talking about it.
Donnie balked up. There's no way around it. I mean, Donnie balked up.
People were saying steroids. Most of us wanted to think that he was eating healthier, running a little bit, and just, lifting weights. We didn't believe that. That's what we wanted to say.
Are you going to address the steroid issue?
I never took steroids. I have no comment on that. I don't even know what steroids are.
I remember seeing that on the news, and I felt relief. It's an athlete confronting this head on.
Then an hour later, apparently some new evidence was uncovered.
And we are live here in Valley View at Donnie's mansion, and it looks like Donnie has a speech prepared.
Let down my teammates, all 2 of them, and I let down all the fans that always showed up. Sorry, it's just been a rough year.
It was a huge moment, right up there with the moon landing.
I was watching the news, and the camera showed this kid. They were in Pakistan, and this kid could barely speak a word of English, but he knew enough to say the words, "I hate Donnie." That's how big this was. That's how many people were disappointed by Donnie. All around the world, people were upset by the news.
This is the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. This is terrible. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to Cleveland since Modell taking the Browns away.
But nothing was more heartbreaking than the groundhog hole incident of Game 2.
Yeah, I definitely remember that one.
Ghost runners on first and second.
Dan's on the mound, doing his normal routine, dropping balls, stuff like that, trying to throw the batter off. First pitch, slow, way outside.
But that second pitch, I bet that's the one he wishes he could take back.
So Rob walks over to me. This is like a scene right from The Natural, and I'm the fat kid.
Go pick me out a winner, Bobby.
Okay.
And I'm thinking he needs a new bat. So what do? I hand him the McGuire bat. The crowd is dead silent, minus the protesters.
So Danny's locked in. I mean, now he's able to throw a fast pitch. So, I mean, that's what you're expecting. He ends up throwing a slow fast pitch, maybe 34, 35, 36 miles an hour.
Just connects with it.
You know, I remember thinking, this could be trouble.
You got Ron out there in left, center, and also right. I mean, also I guess you would technically say third base as well. It was kind of normal. He had a lot of ground to cover.
It was a ball that most people just let go foul, because clearly it was.
But Ron was too focused. And even though everyone, including the opposing team, was yelling for him to stop, Ron kept running. Little did he know, he was headed right for the groundhog hole area.
The groundhog hole area. It's a place of celebration, joy. It's the ultimate goal. Except in this situation. This was actually pretty terrible.
Even though the ball was heading foul, Ron didn't care.
That's when it happened. Ron reaches his hand out to catch the ball, and
pop. His foot went in the hole, but he kept going.
So I remember thinking, you know what? He just busted his knee.
He missed the ball. He missed the ball by like 10 feet. But that effort, you don't forget effort like that.
They ended up winning that game when Dan hit a curveball into the pit. Instant 9 points, and suddenly, the series was tied.
By game 3, Donnie was suspended. And now Noah and Rob needed a replacement.
Who are you going to find to replace Donnie? There's no one out there.
This is where things get really interesting.
Alright, so I sent out a mass AOL instant message to all the former players that were out there, you know? Everyone I played in the past, everyone I even heard about. Not one single reply. So what do we do? Noah, you know what he had the idea of? I didn't think international.
There was this kid named Luke. Kind of goofy, spoke with an accent, very, very uncoordinated. But hey, he's willing to come to America.
And of course, he didn't know anything about baseball or Pitt. He's from Australia, and Noah posted online that he owned a farm and was looking for farm help. And here we go, we get Luke.
Luke arrives in America looking to work on a farm and learn about horticulture. But that just wasn't the case.
Within 1 hour of Luke's plane landing, Noah took his passport, his money, put it in a safe, and had that kid on the field practicing baseball.
Alright, so nobody can argue the legality of taking somebody's passport and forcing them to play baseball. But that's not what this is about. That's not what we're here talking about. There may be a different time for that, but right now there's something else going on.
Suddenly you got Dan, Ray, and myself playing against a solid team.
Games 3, 4, and 5 were all close. Luckily, no broken bones or major injuries. Until...
I've seen a lot of things in my life, but nothing made me turn away quicker than the Game 6 incident.
Alright, so I'm not going to sugarcoat the incident, alright? There's no way around it. This was brutal.
And there was an extra challenge in this game too, because a family had set up tents in the outfield, which is allowed by pit rules.
If the ball goes into the tent, it's 9 points. This really got the game interesting.
But for some people like Luke, this was only added stress. Minutes before the start of Game 6, Luke meets with the commissioner.
So he came to me and requested a trade. Something about the other team holding him and keeping his passport. I'm not one for details.
The commissioner approved the trade, Luke in exchange for 3 points. This trade upset many, including Rob.
That was uncalled for. You can't do that here, not in this league. I don't know how things stand internationally, but here you have a precedent that has to stand there. You have to be loyal to your team. The things that we did for Luke are just, you can't even put in words the amount of fame we put for this guy. And here he just stabs our back.
First time that Luke bats, he gets drilled. Hit by a 38, 39 miles per hour fastball from Rob. Rob said it slipped. I wasn't so sure though.
I heard supposedly that it slipped from his hand. That's impossible. Like, this is Rob, not Ron. Rob, the state champ.
And then the second time, we all know it was intentional.
All Rob had to do was throw it over the plate, and Luke would have swung and missed.
When Rob released that ball, I knew.
Everyone in the stands, everyone on the field, everyone watching knew this ball was going to hit Luke in the face.
The only person that didn't know was Luke.
Or Luke knew, and he was just trying to kill himself. That's up for debate.
That was a sound that would haunt me for weeks. It kept me up at night.
The sound of a 39 miles per hour fastball, a tennis ball, hitting a British man in the face is unlike anything I've ever heard.
And I describe it as the sound of a slab of beef hitting a windshield at 150 miles an hour.
You know, we can joke about it now, but at the time, well, actually at the time we were all laughing because we thought it was kind of funny.
Hit him right in the face.
But he died, so it wasn't really that funny.
Maybe a little.
What he lived for and what he died for.
I forgot what time it was. We gotta get back to Brett. It's almost time to show off fireworks.
'Cause I'd miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing.
Let's fade that out, okay?
The sweetest dream.
Okay, much better. Well, let me tell you, folks, it does not get any easier. That is terrible as the first time I ever heard it. But thank you very much, Clay, for your wonderful voice. Well, it is the time everyone has been waiting for. I just want to say thank you again for showing support for America's gem of a man, Tom Cruise. After the show, feel free to stop by the Hug Bar for some liquid refreshments and soggy chips from Save-A-Lot.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls, 'cause all I see